The coach says very good at connecting with their strike partner, Bunny, up top.
So Aaron Gilroy, talented yet so humble. Coach Brian Pensky just raved about her earlier this week when we had a chance to talk to him. And the coach is excited about this matchup. Tennessee had that big win over Ole Miss on Thursday. Had their first loss against South Carolina last Sunday. So Coach Pensky looked at that Ole Miss win as sort of a get back because they were disappointed about that South Carolina result. And keep in mind, on the other side, Coach Tom Anagnos and Mississippi State thrilled about their result against South Carolina. Coach Anagnos in his second year with the Bulldogs, so proud of the way his team showed character in that matchup.
Yeah, and if they get a win against Tennessee, that would give them their second consecutive win against a top 20 team.
Kayla Waldner out of Dexter. Dexter, Missouri, tough as they come. Leader on this Bulldogs squad. Pitch absolutely pristine here today. It's an overcast day here in Knoxville. Bialzak for the Volunteers. There you saw McGilvery for the Bulldogs. Just about to get this one started. Bunny Shaw puts this one in motion. Wastes no time taking a blast, and we're underway. Welcome everybody to Knoxville, Tennessee. Drew Felios alongside the former Notre Dame star and United States women's national teamer Kate Markgraf. Tennessee, of course, in the white, the orange, Mississippi State, and their signature colors. Mississippi State coming off a season-defining win against South Carolina. And the Volunteers, meanwhile, they also had a win against Ole Miss on Thursday night, but now both teams 1-1 in conference play, and this should be a real true test here this afternoon. What are you most excited about, Kate, though, in this matchup here today?
Well, I'm excited to see Mississippi State's press. How organized is it? Are they able to prevent passing channels and block shots and build up play? And for Tennessee, are they able to build out of the back with that type of pressure? It's going to be a fun little chess match to see which team executes their game plan better.
Ren French tossing it in on the far side. Now Bulldogs working. Nia Johnson getting her first start today, wearing number 14. This one sent into the box. The header was on. It's off the crossbar. Bulldogs applying pressure here early. And on guard is Shea Yanez, the goalkeeper for the Volunteers. The Bulldogs with some early offense. Shea Yanez, the senior goalkeeper, 6 saves against Ole Miss the other night. And here's the Bulldogs again, winning one and playing it forward. This one lost, though. Katie Cousins going to take care of it, but Vols having trouble clearing here in the early moments. Now it's Farrington Bentil. She'll send one in. Ball is loose inside the 6, and Yanez there to scoop it up. So good early signs from Mississippi State. We thought, after being on such an emotional high on Thursday, possibly you come in here on the road, have a little bit of a letdown, but that's not the case so far.
No, they're starting strong, and I think they've been buoyed by their win against South Carolina, giving them a little bit of confidence. And more importantly is when your coach gives you a game plan and you're going against one of the best teams, and if that high press and how he led this team and said this is how we're going to beat him, and it works, you now have more belief in your coach, and you also start to build some momentum.
Paige Frank sending it forward. Backline being tested here early for Tennessee. Here's Cousins again, right in the thick of things. Katie Cousins wearing number 22 here today. Franks. Tennessee trying to get some form of offense going here as Vignola also handles the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Here's Farrington Bentil now. staying in bounds, and Vignola, M.A. Vignola, trying to send it up now for Tennessee. Tennessee rolled through non-conference play, and so did Mississippi State. Both these teams took care of their business there. Really have high hopes in the SEC, especially Tennessee, though, coming into this year. After the way 2017 ended, Coach Penske and his team, their emphasis for 2018, play for championships. We now belong amongst the elite in this conference. Bulldogs owning possession here in the opening moments. And now it's Vignola playing out of the center circle. And the Vols will now get it forward. Aaron Gilroy trying to catch up to it, goes across the touchline. There'll be a throw-in for the Bulldogs.
Well, that was key because that's the first time we saw someone from Tennessee turn with pressure and be able to beat that individual defender and then move the team forward. The more they can handle the pressure that's coming onto them and be able to deal with it proactively and move the ball forward, the better off this team's going to be.
Kenzie Gooner chasing it down for the Vols. Gooner, a senior from Monument, Colorado, 2 assists on the year. Vols again trying to generate offense. Aaron Gilroy, 1 goal and an assist on the year, has it poked away by Carrasco, but will have a corner kick for the Vols coming up. So Aaron Gilroy started every game in the U20 World Cup. Really a tremendous talent for the Volunteers.
She just brings a different dimension. Good in the air, can spin out wide, get on the end of long balls, and she's a willing runner, something that every defender loves.
Crowd coming alive for Katie Cousins. Got that great touch. This one punched out by DeCrane, the goalkeeper for Mississippi State. That ball just kind of fluttered, didn't it?
It's a testing ball. It's seeing whether or not DeCrane feels comfortable coming off her line on traffic. That's a great thing to do in the opening minutes of a game to test the nerves a little bit. She came up huge against South Carolina. So many key saves, a wonderful shot stopper.
Kate, they were outshot by the Gamecocks, and Riley DeCrane kept them in that game. 6 huge saves. Coach Anagnos said that she truly was the difference on Thursday night. Ball sent out now, and the Volunteers will throw it in. French has it deflected, and now Gooner trying to chase it down. Oh, nice battle there, won by Brooke McKee. Brooke McKee now will collect for Mississippi State. She's got 3 goals on the year. Here's Carrasco. Ball hit off Vignola. Mississippi State trying to play it through. Waldner from that right flank. Cousins there to knock it back out. Not really seen Bunny Shaw get into it yet for the Volunteers of Tennessee, but you see her roaming around the center circle right now.
Well, she's trying to find the ball. She hasn't been fed with any service. Mississippi State's doing an excellent job putting pressure on the ball. That is disrupting the possession, ball buildup that Tennessee is known for.
Claire Franks sending it back. Excited to talk about the sister combo today for the Volunteers. Claire Franks and Paige Franks as well. Here's Waldner now. Nia Johnson. Mississippi State showing great pace here early on. Regal Stadium, the site this afternoon. Home of the University of Tennessee Volunteers, hosting the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Drew Felios, alongside the former Notre Dame star and United States women's national teamer Kate Markgraf. Mississippi State sort of dictating the pace, the tempo here early on, and really putting Shea Yanez, the keeper for the Volunteers, to an early test.
And it's coming down to their midfield press, so strong in forcing Tennessee to put their head down and disrupting that free-flowing possession-based soccer that they like to play.
Volunteers now running. Paige Franks trying to get it forward. Misread that time by Gilroy. And should be a goal kick for Mississippi State. Mississippi State, hard-working blue-collar team, #2 RPI, their highest ranking ever. It's the type of season Tom Anagnos is having right now for these ladies. Riley DeCrane, give this one a ride. Nice crowd on hand this afternoon at Regal Stadium. Carrasco comes over, gets some instruction, and now she'll head up to handle this set piece. Mississippi State, very young team, 13 freshmen, and they are certainly growing quickly. 12 returning players from 2017 as Riley DeCrane comes up to put this one in motion, Kate. This is a little different.
Generally don't see this in college soccer that much. This is anything 40 yards away from the goal. Usually that's up to a defender. But that, she must just have excellent service delivery or doesn't trust any of her backs can get the ball high enough with the service to actually challenge the back line of Volunteers.
Tennessee Volunteers putting this one. Mississippi State playing it. They'll play it now into the box. This one headed out. Tennessee will win it with Vignola. Drew Felios alongside Kate Markgraf, the former Notre Dame star, United States women's national teamer. Here in Knoxville, Tennessee, Regal Stadium. The Volunteers in white taking on Mississippi State. Both teams 1-1 in SEC play. Mississippi State coming off one of the biggest wins in program history on Thursday night. What a move by Gilroy. How about two of them? Now she crosses it in, and the Volunteers going to work atop the 18 as the Bulldogs scramble defensively. Seeing some of the individual talent from this Tennessee squad, they can really get it done.
There's so many numbers in the middle, congesting it, making passing channels and space hard to come by. That space is coming wide, and Gilroy's having a field day out there.
Nia Johnson now for Mississippi State. Well, two players get tangled up there as Cousins and McKee made their way up. Now it's a long blast by the player who was the hero on Thursday, Zakira McGilvery. This one saved, though, by Yanez. For Tennessee this year, 12 different players have scored goals. Their top player, though, is Bunny Shaw, wearing number 10 here this afternoon. There she is, Bunny, part of the Jamaican women's national team. 3 goals, 2 assists on the year. Second year at Tennessee, and Kate, I know we came to the park today excited to see this young lady do her thing.
Well, Coach says she can win a game by herself. She's got the speed to get in behind, but she also is very good on the ball, able to beat you with her individual skill to create that separation, and then she uses that acceleration to get past you. And her ability to read the game has improved as she's matured and involved as a soccer player. She's now the complete package, according to Coach, and can win the game all on her own.
Volunteers set this one out. They're throwing for Mississippi State. Mississippi State has not beaten Tennessee since 2006. It's been a while. 12 years since that has happened. Hoping to change some history here today. Tennessee has absolutely dominated this all-time series. They are 15-2-1 against the Bulldogs. Last meeting back in 2016. These two teams did not meet a year ago. Altogether, the Volunteers have won, though, 8 of their last 9 against this Mississippi State team. There's your series history. Tennessee winning 3-0 a couple years ago. So Coach Penske's team has had the edge against the Bulldogs, but Mississippi State, sometimes, Kate, when your confidence is flowing, you're feeling it, like it was Thursday against South Carolina, now's the time to change things if you're Mississippi State.
Well, they're a lot more proactive on the ball, and they're a lot more confident moving forward and putting pressure on other teams with the ability to, from dead balls, and their ability to throw it into the box, kick it into the box. They're so talented that it's something that's very difficult for opponents to defend.
Little flip throw from the Bulldogs. Well done. Causing some problems. Cousins there, though, to clear it. Bailey Zerbel gets right back to work. Carrasco trying to send this one in. Yanez watches it skate right by. So Shea Yanez, her 3rd year as a starter, as confident as they come in the net. And a .33 goals against. Anytime that number's under 1, Kate, that is pretty good.
Well, she's pretty confident in herself, and she's the leader. You get to see her and hear her talking to her backline, trying to help organize, and that's going to be critical today because Mississippi State sent so many numbers in. It's very difficult for defenders to figure out exactly who is the most dangerous when they start ball watching a little bit. Her organization will be key to keeping this backline organized.
Here's Brooke McKee now. Some numbers for the Bulldogs. Waldner. Cross cut off that time. Nia Johnson comes up to play it. Malden will send it back. And now Miranda Carrasco. Bunny Shaw getting on top of it for the Vols. Quickly, Zerbel comes over to take it away. Well, Thinking Out Loud with Greg McElroy and Marcus Spears tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. They talk football. They want your participation through social media throughout the show. It's also available streaming live on the ESPN app. First half here in Knoxville, still scoreless. Number 19, Tennessee, taking on Mississippi State. Katie Cousins, Coach Penske said she is like a point guard on the basketball court playing soccer. And basically says that she is like our Steve Nash. Pretty good analogy, huh?
Just a really bright kid and very composed, but also just mature. I had a chance to talk to her earlier today. She was just wise beyond her years, just having a normal conversation with that you don't often get to that level with some college kids.
Now it's Zerbel. Zerbel trying to service one in. Tough ball. And how about Yanez climbing the ladder to tip it away at just the right time. Another near goal, Kate, by Mississippi State.
Yanez reading that the entire time. It's just the service. A lot of times they're connecting with a runner in the box, but this time a bit of a test in Yanez. Strong hand, the right hand, is able to parry it away from danger.
It's a big time play. Now the Volunteers working the other way. Vignola. Bulldogs, though, exactly how Coach Anagnos said they would be. Just do not give up much easy. It's Waldner. Had to send it across the pitch. Cousins tracks it down and sends it back to Yanez. Claire Franks, junior from Richmond. Talked about her and her sister, Paige Franks. Claire's got 1 assist so far this year. There's Paige. Paige is a sophomore, Claire is a junior. But they're 2 years apart because Paige, the younger, actually skipped her entire senior year of high school to play some college soccer. Now the Volunteers attacking. Gilroy setting the table. Bunny Shaw! And she is offsides. The flag did go up that time. You saw Bunny's reaction as soon as the ball was at her feet.
And just a bit of a mistimed connection between those two. Bialczak a little late in delivering this ball. She's waiting to commit, and Bunny leaves a little bit early. Bunny has so much speed. She can hold her run a little bit longer than most players as you look to get in behind the defense because she's so fast and makes up more ground than anybody else, stride for stride.
Out of Spanish Town, Jamaica. 3 goals on the year, looking to add to that here today. But McKee going down for the Bulldogs. Bunny Shaw just a difference maker. So Bulldogs now with possession after the foul. Nia Johnson, freshman, getting her first start. Very cool, very confident this season for Mississippi State. Looks like Carrasco's going to take care of this one. Another freshman out of Cypress, Texas. Carrasco, 750 minutes coming into today. Ball is loose as Yanez came out. Volunteers likely in position to play it. And now Gilroy. Foul called. Ball will belong to the Volunteers. Claire Franks gaining self-confidence with each and every outing. Paige Franks, heavily recruited by Tennessee. Claire, took a little convincing for her to suit up here in Knoxville, but
it's a great story.
I mean, Coach Penske has made the right call for sure, Kate.
Well, it's incredible that the younger one is getting recruited, and the older one, Coach, she's not even on his radar. And it took someone being like, oh, no, you should check out the sister. She's just as good. Like, that's just crazy to how she went on the radar. And now she's playing at a top 20 program.
Certainly had to earn it the hard way. Now it's Carrasco. Carrasco switching over. Ball on the ground, and Cousins will take care of it. Shaw trying to send it back. Tennessee winning it back. Kate, what advice would you give some young players that maybe aren't getting heavily recruited but have a love for this game and are trying to get noticed?
You have to control your controllables. First of all, you have to be, if you're not getting recruited and other people are starting to, you have to be the fittest player on the field. You have to also be the one to commit and be proactive every time you step on to take people on individually because you want to draw attention to yourself. So being a proactive player, what you're seeing right now, when I look at Mississippi State, I see a lot of players who are playing on that front foot, in particular McGillivray as well as Waldner. Those are 2 players that maybe stats-wise, with the exception of McGillivray, may not have a ton of numbers, but they're making an impact on this game with how physical they're playing and how they're getting stuck in. Things like that is stuff you can control. That's how you get noticed.
McGillivray now making another play happen. She'll take the shot. Yanez will scoop it off the ground.
She's lost both her shoes in the process.
Zakira's got 6 goals on the year. Kate, 4 of those have been game-winning goals.
And this has been a battle all game long between McGillivray and Franks. And what's fun to watch is now Franks is stepping up into that a little bit more, was sitting back a little bit. McGillivray was having a field day.
Falls now, right back. Long shot taken. And Vignola had a good strike on it. She's got 2 goals on the year, 2 assists as well. Substitution, Paige Franks will exit the game. Megan Flynn comes in. Flynn very productive off the bench. And she's also got 6 starts this year for the Vols. There are just some players, though, as we watch McGilvray, who just seems to thrive in those big moments. Kate, you were one of those players. and it's not something that, you know, many players have, plain and simple.
Well, you have to have some bit of technique, and what McGilvray does differently than most is she can strike the ball with power with both feet, so she can play on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. She can cut it in and create opportunities. So if a team is sitting back and there's space in that midfield, her shot will challenge goalkeepers. We've seen her unleash 2 with some significant power.
It's a tough challenge there on Megan Flynn. Crowd wanted a foul, but we play on here. Nearly 25 minutes in Knoxville. It's been a pretty good matchup so far. Bunny Shaw challenged by McGilvray. Volunteers had a breakout season 2017, made it to the NCAA tournament. Led the SEC in goals, conference play with 24 of them. This season, though, they want to be elite. Kenzie Gooner, one of the elite players, converted right winger who has really settled in at that center back spot. Yanez handling it again for Tennessee. Also, when you look at this Tennessee team, Bunny Shaw and Erin Gilroy, 2 top players. They're dynamic together. They haven't had much time on the field so far this season.
No, they both were away for international competition, so they haven't been able to develop that chemistry and become an even more dangerous strike partnership. The good thing about that, though, is it gave other people the opportunity some minutes. Bunny
Shaw fighting for it. Changes the point of attack. Get it inside the 18. It rolled right past Gilroy and into the arms of DeCrane. Bunny Shaw, so difficult to handle on that post up. Volunteers trying to win this one back. Vignola again. Vignola really playing well so far. McGilvray, Mississippi State, winning back possession. Now it's Brooke McKee sending it back. Hold on slowly, working their way up the pitch. Gilvray goes backwards with it. This one shot again, and Yanez takes care of things for Tennessee once again. On Tuesday, right here on SEC Network, we're excited to bring you the next episode of our 30-minute Southern Food and Culture Show. Your host, John T. Edge, traveling the region to explore contemporary Southern identity, focusing on cafes, diners, and other restaurants, all with limited commercial interruptions. True South, Tuesdays, 7 Eastern, also available on the ESPN app. Scoreless thus far here in Knoxville. But would you say, Kate, the pace of play, Mississippi State maybe had a slight edge, or would you give that to Tennessee so far?
Well, Tennessee is starting to grow into this game, starting to match that pressure and then play. They kind of got it taken to them. That's definitely offside.
Flag late going up that time. A collision. You saw Waldner collide with Yanez.
And the question was whether or not Waldner heard the whistle, which she's saying right now, I didn't hear it. You see her talking to the defender, saying, I didn't hear that. She's just going through it.
Oof.
That's the right play if you didn't hear the whistle.
Well, Michaela Waldner, nothing short on toughness here. Her father, Robert, an All-American wrestler back in his college days, and right now a wrestling coach. And you talk about the grit, the determination of this Bulldogs team. It starts with number 10. French will chase it down for Tennessee. Malden. Bulldogs with one of the biggest moments in their program history on Thursday night. They know they can add to the lore here this afternoon. Good pace that time by Vignola. Vignola again attacking for the Volunteers, making things happen.
There's so much space on those wide inside channels that the midfielders are able to carry the ball and try to commit one of the defenders for Mississippi State. And this time earning a corner kick. First time they hit a corner kick, they hit it right to Crane. So I hope Katie Cousins draws this out a little bit, maybe back in the back six, right behind that zone slash man-to-man defending that Mississippi State's lined up with.
Crane on guard. Marcano and Riley O'Keefe check in for Tennessee. Ball sent into the box.
She heard me. I think she might have heard me.
That ball was humming for sure. So Marcano coming in. Senior from Buford, Georgia. Let me take a look at Riley DeCrane. Coach Anagna says she has been the quiet and steady MVP. He's a redshirt senior out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Riley DeCrane, remember that name. Tapped out by Vignola. Vignola's been all over the field for the Volunteers here in this first half.
Well, she's had to cover a lot defensively, and that plays into some of her strengths. She likes to come back. She has no problem doing that check back defending, providing that pressure and double teams.
Now it's Carrasco, player down for Bulldogs. Flag will go up. Looks like it was Brooke McKee going down that time. Barbasol's going to come out, mark the spot. Carrasco will take it from there. Miranda Carrasco, discovered by Mississippi State coaches at their soccer camp. This young lady over-prepares for every single game, which Agnes says that's a good thing. Nice ball this time. Mississippi State's had some chances in this first half, just not yet able to convert. Tennessee defense has had to become very active. Nice ball one there. That was Neal coming up. Tyrell, who checked in off the bench, and now Waldner playing it forward. Yanez comes up, no damage done. Buddy Shaw, a little bit of room to work with. Crowd senses it. She'll just let it loose. And that one sails into the trees. A sense of the power she's got in that right foot. Robichaux now, part of that back line for Mississippi State. In fact, she is the anchor of that unit. Courtney Robichaux, wearing number 18. Megan Flynn. Trying to get it to Shaw. Shaw being marked very tightly by the Bulldogs as Robichaux sends it up once more. Knoxville, Tennessee, the place here this afternoon. Tennessee in white taking on Mississippi State. Still scoreless. Brooke McKee and the Bulldogs. Some early action on goal. Shea Yanez, though, really playing well in net for the Volunteers. Here's a shot. This one just over the crossbar. Megan Flynn absolutely exploded on that ball.
Again, it's coming from that midfield, able to pick it up. And then just does that preparation touch. And in between the seam of the two defenders, is able to get that shot off. If that was a little bit lower, it was hit with so much power. That would have been very difficult for DeCrane to save. You'd have to have such an incredibly strong wrist in order to parry that one away.
Last time these two teams played, Kate, 2016, Megan Flynn had the game-winning goal. Her favorite athlete, Tom Brady. Is that your favorite athlete too?
It's many people's favorite athlete. I'm good with that. I can go with that.
Volunteers, well, you said it, Kate, a few minutes ago, really starting to really pick up the pace. Look much better than they did in the opening minutes. Cousins now comes back with that soft touch. Get that offense running. Inside of 10 minutes to play in the first half. Maya Neal, two-sport star for Tennessee. There's Neal again, making a difference, and she's starting to really cut off some of those runs for Mississippi State before they got moving.
And the other sport, probably the hardest sport in discipline of all sports, a heptathlon. That's insane.
Track and field star, dual citizenship, USA and Liberia. Playing at left center back today, Maya Neal, a heptathlete. Just imagine the discipline, the focus, training that goes into that.
She's definitely the leader on the back line, communicating, pulling the line up, setting the line, knowing when to drop. Her leadership role continues to grow as the season goes on.
And Maya Neal, all SEC in soccer last year, All-American heptathlete, is just amazing.
She's like an underachiever. It's incredible.
These kids will make you feel that way. Now Johnson. Looked like there could have been some contact there. And there is. An official will come in and mark that spot as Megan Flynn was involved.
The ref is letting a lot of things go as long as advantage is being played. And the minute is no longer is an advantage and a shooting opportunity doesn't result, especially in the final third, he is calling it back. And he's done that equitably for both teams. But he's already had a talking to Tennessee's coach. Came over for a little bit, had a little chat, not quite privy, but I do see Penske going in and talking to the fourth referee quite a bit after some of the challenges. Just letting the refs know he's thinking a little bit too physical.
Kristen Malbranch on top of this one. See Brian Penske right there. Tennessee head coach making sure they're organized here on this set piece. This ball hit to the left side, loose for a moment. Cousins on top of it. And now the Vols can make a play. Great athletes of Tennessee at work here. Aaron Gilroy. Ball got a little bit ahead of her that time, and Robichaux was there to take care of it.
Robichaux's recovery speed was insane. She was behind the play by about 15 yards, and that commitment to be that first defender, knowing her back line was retreating and vulnerable, the center midfield is able to stop that counterattack.
Senior leader Courtney Robichaux making a difference for Mississippi State. Then Yola now will toss it in. Just like in the game of football, closing speed in soccer It makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
It's huge on transition, especially in the college game. There's generally so much transition as the season goes on, as players get tired, and injuries start to add up. You get that accumulated fatigue means that teams start to lose their discipline and their shape. And that recovery speed allows teams to come back when it's just a quick direct ball, leading to counterattacks.
Coach Anagnos looking on. He knows that this Mississippi State program's still in the beginning phases of building. Did admit to us that certainly it's been challenging building a program in Bulldogs country. They come out this time. Megan Flynn tried to stick it in off the rebound. Just too many maroon jerseys in front of her. Vignola, a great move. Sets it to Flynn, and Flynn can't catch up to it.
That was excellent move by Vignola. I love that she was able to recover that second ball. This was coming up after DeCrane punches it out, but the Volunteers are able to sustain their attack, and they need that individual quality on the ball because Mississippi State's defending is so high press. It's trying to force you to put your head down and just kick it away, and she was able to stay composed in that moment.
A.K. Ward will come in now. McKinley Burkett checking in for Tennessee as well. There's Riley DeCrane. Gilroy, get a rest for the Volunteers. Coming to the end of this first half. Started out, Mississippi State really taking the initiative in the first few minutes, nearly putting a few goals on the board. There's A.K. Ward for the Bulldogs, a goal and 2 assists this year. As this first half has gone along, Tennessee has gotten their legs under them. They've looked much better. You know, the Volunteers also want to get a win today, Kate, because it didn't go so well for the football team yesterday against the University of Florida. That is always.
It's a huge matchup, isn't it?
That's been their bugaboo. Just cannot.
Yeah. You always have that one, right? That one team that when you go matchup, player versus player, style against different styles, that just, they have your number.
Kind of like Notre Dame when they play Florida State, right?
Did you go to Florida State? Is that why you're saying that to me?
You think so?
I think you might have been. I won't hold that against you, I promise. But yes, very similar.
4 minutes to play. You still got us in 93, though. We're still getting over that one. The 1 versus 2. Iconic matchup. Our next SEC storied film is entitled By Grantland Rice. It premieres Tuesday at 9 Eastern. Right here on SEC Network. It's the story of arguably the greatest sports writer of all time and Vanderbilt alum Henry Grantland Rice, who was an observer, a poet, and a storyteller from 1901 till his death in 1954. It's always available on the ESPN app as well. Bulldogs and Vols looking for their first goals here in Knoxville. We come to the end of the first half. Drew Felios thrilled to be joined by Kate Markgraf here today. Here's Jordan now. Tremendous strike. This one will sail about 6 feet above the goal.
Well, Tennessee has totally changed their tactics and style of play from the beginning of the game. They were trying to build out of the back or find the midfield and have the midfield turn and pressure to find the front runners. Now they're just playing a bit more direct, bypassing the midfield, getting the ball in Mississippi State's end, and then trying to set play by either controlling it or picking up the first and second ball. That has led to their increased momentum and more chances that they've created towards the tail end of the first half.
Marcano. Saw DeCrane did not get a good piece of it, was not really able to clear. Now Tennessee trying to apply some pressure here before the end of the first half, see if they can get a chance or two. Megan Flynn, good job to force the corner.
Flynn, once again, has a knack of finding that ball in the box, whether it's a rebound or a missed or poor clearance. She's getting onto it and causing problems on the left flank.
Katie Cousins sets this one up. Cousins, third-team All-American last year. One of the best attacking midfielders in the SEC. Crowd coming alive here at Regal. Cousins puts it on the ground. Tennessee trying to send it back. Maya Neal, the safety valve, comes up. Out of bounds on the far side. About a minute to work with here for the Vols. Flair Jordan, part of the Volunteers attack. Mind you, coming up at halftime, SEC news and notes, notable upcoming matches we can talk about. Also first half stats and highlights as well, all coming up at the half here from Knoxville. A chance to take in some big-time women's soccer over the weekend, Kate. NWSL Championship, how'd it go?
Oh, it was pretty exciting. You got to see in pro soccer the most dominant team ever across any professional league. Carolina Courage had scored the most points, given up the fewest amount of goals, and finished the regular season 15 points ahead of the second-place team. They continued that dominance. It was supposed to be a neutral site, predetermined before the teams were set, and Portland got it. Portland ended up being in the final, so it was very much a home field advantage. Carolina came through, though. Blew them out of the water 3-0. Wow. It was a fun game to be at.
What a team. Final seconds of the first half here in Knoxville. And no goals. Mississippi State and Tennessee both trying to draw first blood. Both teams 1-0 when the score is tied at the half. Katie Cousins, she's doing some work out there. It's sort of a muggy day here in Rocky Top. Vols fighting through it.
Vols are trying to figure out the best way to get onto something.
Scoreless in Knoxville. Volunteers and Bulldogs halftime festivities coming up right after this on the SEC Network. Bulldogs here on the SEC Network. Drew Felios with Kate Markgraf. A busy first half it was. Mississippi State taking the bull by the horns, literally, in the opening moments. Brooke McKee winning balls, and it was McGilvery trying to do what she did Thursday night. Score a big-time goal. Yanez put on notice early.
Well, Yanez came up big time and time again. This one being tested on the shot cross. We sometimes call those crosses, but she came up big, and that was a strong wrist in order to get that one out of danger. But McGillivray, so strong on the ball. She has stood out to me with how aggressive she is. That time she's so powerful she loses both her shoes, but it doesn't matter if she's taking the right shot or left foot shot. She's been impactful.
Tennessee had their moments as well. Second half, straight ahead from Knoxville. College soccer on the SEC Network continues from Knoxville, Tennessee, and Regal Stadium. Highlights after one half of play.
Well, what stands out to me is that it's 5-on-5 for shots. I assume that Mississippi State had more, but the majority of their offensive action happened in the beginning part of first half. But look at the corners. Tennessee's getting in the end zone, but they're not able to get central to create some opportunities and shots on goal.
Zakira McGilvery, the hero Thursday night for Mississippi State, was able to really get involved late in that first half. Bunny Shaw has been a little bit quiet for Tennessee. She's been marked very tightly by that back line of Mississippi State. Aaron Gilroy, number 5 for Tennessee, certainly going to be one to watch here in the second half. Brooke McKee right there for the Bulldogs has played well. Nia Johnson, number 14, in the picture as well, getting her first start today in her Mississippi State career. Underway, half number 2, Drew Felios, Kate Markgraf. Not at a goal in this game just yet. That certainly, I think, is going to change in half number 2. Maya Neal got airborne that time, and Yanez handles it here to start.